Hello everyone, and welcome back to Money Pulsar. Today, I'm going to share a super cool story with you. It's about a man named Jeff Bezos, a guy who started with practically nothing and ended up building Amazon, the store that has literally changed the world. Imagine a kid looking up at the stars, tinkering with toys, and dreaming big. That little dreamer would one day create a company that delivered packages to almost every corner of the globe. From a simple idea in a garage to a global empire, this is the story of how it all began. It is a tale that proves how a little bit of curiosity and a whole lot of hard work can turn into something absolutely massive. So, if you've ever wondered how Amazon came to be, you're in the right place. Let's dive in and explore the amazing story of Jeff Bezos, starting right from the very beginning. Jeff Bezos was born back in 1964. His early life was in the Always Sea. When he was just a toddler, his biological father wasn't in the picture, but he was lucky to have a strong mom and a supportive stepdad who adopted him and raised him as his own. From a very young age, Jeff was incredibly curious. He loved to build things and figure out how they worked. There is a famous story about him taking apart his own crib with a screwdriver, just because he wanted to understand its construction. He wasn't just taking things apart, though. He was putting them together too. He would build little machines and gadgets from scraps he found around the house. His room was probably like a mini inventor's workshop. Besides his love for gadgets, he was also fascinated by space. He'd read books about rockets and dream of exploring the final frontier. This early passion for building and exploring shows us something really important. Curiosity is often the first step toward having big, world-changing ideas. As Jeff got a little older, that curiosity started to mix with an entrepreneurial spirit. When he was a teenager, he launched his very first small business. He created a summer camp for kids in his neighborhood called the Dream Institute. He actually charged money for it. And surprisingly, kids signed up. He would teach them about science and other cool subjects. He also had other jobs, like delivering newspapers, and he continued to build his own gadgets. Even back then, you could see his drive to turn his ideas into something real, something tangible. It wasn't just about dreaming. It was about doing. That little summer camp might seem small, but it was his first taste of creating something from scratch and seeing people value it. It was an early sign of the incredible businessman he would become. This just goes to show that even the smallest ventures can teach you valuable lessons for the future. After finishing high school, Jeff didn't just go to any college. He went to Princeton University, one of the best in the world. He was a super bright student, diving deep into computers and engineering. You'd think a future business giant would be studying business, right? Nope. Back then, Jeff's head was in the clouds. Literally, he was fascinated by rockets and space exploration. His dreams were filled with stars and distant planets, not spreadsheets and profit margins. It's a great reminder that before you can build something massive, you need a strong foundation of knowledge. Learning everything you can, even if it doesn't seem directly related to your future goals, is what prepares you for the big leaps you'll take later on. It's like building a rocket. You have to understand the physics and engineering first, before you can even think about launch day. After graduating from Princeton, Jeff landed a great job on Wall Street in New York City. He was working in a fancy office, looking at charts and graphs, and earning a really good salary. Life was comfortable and secure. For many people, this would have been the dream of stable, high-paying career. But Jeff was different. He was always looking for the next big thing. One day, while browsing online, he stumbled upon a mind-blowing statistic. He read that the internet was growing at an incredible rate of 2,300% per year. 2,300%. A light bulb went off in his head. He realized this wasn't just a trend, it was a revolution. He thought, wow, if something is growing that fast, I can build an online business that could become absolutely huge. This moment shows us that incredible opportunities can pop up when we least expect them. You just have to be curious enough to spot them. So, what did Jeff do with this incredible realization? He did something most people would call crazy. He quit his safe, high-paying job. He said goodbye to the security of Wall Street. He and his wife, Mackenzie, packed up their lives, got into their car, and started a long drive across the country from New York to Seattle. This wasn't a vacation. As they drove through the mountains, Jeff was busy in the passenger seat, typing out a business plan on his laptop. He had a big vision, but he knew he had to start small and focused. He had to start somewhere, and he decided to start with books. Why books? Well, his reasoning was brilliant. First, books are easy to pack and ship. Second, there are millions of different titles in existence. And third, even the biggest physical bookstores could only stock a fraction of all the books available. He saw a gap in the market, a need that an online store could perfectly fill. This is a classic lesson for any aspiring entrepreneur. Start small, but think big. He wasn't just planning to sell a few books, he was laying the groundwork for the everything store. All right, let's rewind the clock to the very beginning, to what we call the garage days. Picture this. It's not the sprawling Amazon empire you see today. It's just Jeff and a handful of dedicated people crammed into a small, unremarkable garage. This was their entire world. Forget fancy ergonomic setups. Their main desk, it was literally a door, laid flat across some sawhorses. The chairs were old, mismatched, probably found at a garage sale. On this makeshift desk sat a few basic computers, and in the corner they had a bell. This bell was a symbol of hope. The plan was to ring it every single time someone, somewhere, bought a book. At first, that garage was eerily quiet. The bell collected dust. Days would go by with almost no orders. Can you imagine the doubt that must have been creeping in? They'd built this whole thing, quit their jobs, and silence. But they didn't give up. They kept working, refining the website, believing in their idea. And then it happened. An order came through, the bell rung. It was a small victory, but it was everything. Soon after, another order. Another ring. The silence in the garage was slowly replaced by the hopeful sound of that little bell. What started as a trickle turned into a steady stream, and then that stream became a rushing river. The orders started pouring in, faster and faster. That little bell, which once sat silent for days, was now ringing so often they had to stop. It was becoming too distracting. This was a great problem to have. Now, with all these orders, a new challenge emerged. How do you get all these books to all these people? There were no giant fulfillment centers, no fleets of delivery vans, no robots gliding across a warehouse floor. It was just them. The team would get down on their hands and knees on the hard concrete floor of the garage, packing each book into a brown cardboard box by hand. They sealed the tape, slapped on the shipping label, and then loaded all the packages into their own personal cars. They'd drive the stacks of boxers down to the local post office themselves, day in and day out. It was a grind. Long hours, physical labor, and the constant pressure of getting orders out on time. There was no glamour, just the smell of cardboard and the satisfaction of building something from scratch. They weren't just shipping books, they were shipping their dream, one box at a time. It's an incredible reminder, isn't it? Every massive, world-changing company you can think of probably started with a similar story. It starts with an idea, a small space, and a group of people who refuse to quit. The lesson from that garage is so powerful and so simple. Hard work and patience can genuinely make dreams come into reality. It's not about having the perfect office or the fanciest equipment from day one. It's about having the grit to show up every single day, to pack the boxers, to ring that bell, and to believe in what you're doing even when nobody else does. That's how you turn a simple door on sawhorses into the foundation of a global phenomenon. It's a story of pure determination, and it shows that big things truly do have small beginnings. It's 2 in the morning. Imagine waking up with a cold sweat, not from a nightmare, but from a gut feeling that your entire business is about to collapse. That's exactly what happened to Jeff one night. He had this sudden, terrifying thought. His online bookstore couldn't handle the traffic. If too many people visited at once, the whole website would crash. So, what did he do? He picked up the phone and called his small team at 2 a.m. Can you imagine getting that call? But they didn't complain. They rushed to the office in the middle of the night. The team worked tirelessly through the darkness, their faces lit only by the glow of computer screens. They were like a pit crew in a race, frantically fixing systems, checking servers, and beefing up the website's code. They were preparing for a storm they knew was coming. A few days later, it happened. The website did crash, but only for a moment. Because they had prepared, they fixed it almost instantly. The site came back online, stronger and more resilient than ever before. The big lesson here: big problems are not just possible. They're inevitable. The mark of a great team isn't avoiding problems. It's how you face them and solve them together, even at 2 in the morning. After conquering the world of books, Jeff had a much bigger vision. He wanted to build an everything store. He started slowly, adding more and more product categories to his online shop. First came simple gadgets, then toys, then basic household items. Soon, you could find clothing and all sorts of random everyday products. It was a slow, deliberate expansion. At the time, this was a radical idea. Many so-called business experts and analysts were screaming from the rooftops that he was making a huge mistake. They said his model was unsustainable, that selling so many different things online was a recipe for disaster. They just couldn't see the vision. But Jeff didn't listen to the noise. He ignored the doubters. He had a powerful belief in the future of the internet. He was convinced it would change the way we all live and shop. So, he took every single dollar the company earned and poured it right back into the business, fueling growth and expansion. He wasn't building a bookstore. He was building a digital marketplace where anyone could find and buy almost anything they could imagine. The lesson is powerful. People will doubt you, especially when you're doing something new. But having a clear vision and the courage to follow it is far more important than getting everyone's approval. You have to believe in your path, even when you're the only one walking on it. This relentless focus on the long term, this willingness to reinvest every penny, is what separated him from the competition. While others were focused on short-term profits, he was playing a much, much longer game. He was laying the foundation for a global empire, one product category at a time. This strategy wasn't just about selling more stuff. It was about creating a system, an infrastructure that would one day support the sale of virtually everything. It's a testament to the power of thinking differently and sticking to your guns, even when the world thinks you're crazy. It reminds us that the biggest successes often come from the ideas that everyone else initially dismissed. As Jeff's online business exploded, he didn't just sit back and count the money. He kept building, kept innovating. He saw problems and turned them into massive opportunities. He launched a cloud computing service, basically renting out his powerful computer infrastructure to other companies. This became a giant business on its own. Then, he tackled shipping, creating a super-fast delivery system that changed how we all shop. He didn't stop there. He moved into video and digital content, creating a platform for movies, shows, and music. And he took his online marketplace global, connecting buyers and sellers all over the world. Jeff always lived by a simple but powerful mantra. If something is expensive, that means there's an opportunity to improve it. He was unafraid to dive into completely new industries if he saw a way to make things better, faster, or cheaper for the customer. By constantly experimenting and launching new ventures, he didn't just build one successful company. He created an entire ecosystem of multi-billion-dollar businesses. The lesson here is crystal clear. Never stop building. Keep experimenting with new ideas. That's where the real, game-changing opportunities are hiding. Every new idea is a door to a new possibility. So, what can we learn from Jeff Bezos' incredible journey? He's shared some simple but profound lessons that apply to anyone, whether you're building a business or just trying to improve your life. First, start, even if you don't feel 100% ready. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it might never come. Second, think long-term. Plan in years, not days. True success is a marathon, not a sprint. Third, be consistent. Put in the work every single day, especially when no one is watching. That's when the real progress happens. He also emphasized the importance of solving real problems that genuinely matter to people. Don't just chase a trend. Find a pain point and create a solution. And perhaps most importantly, don't run from failure. Embrace it. Every mistake is a lesson in disguise. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone on the path to it. From a financial perspective, his wisdom is just as valuable. He teaches us to take smart, calculated risks. Don't be reckless. But don't be so afraid of losing that you never take a chance. When you do start making a profit, don't just spend it. Reinvest it back into growth, whether that's in your business, your skills, or your investments. And above all, be patient. Big results take time to build. It's the small, consistent actions compounded over years that lead to extraordinary outcomes. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. I really hope you found this story not just interesting, but truly helpful and inspiring. If you did, and you want more content that can help you on your own financial journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the Money Pulsar community. Your journey to financial growth starts right here with us. We believe that building wealth isn't about giant leaps. It's about making smart, consistent choices every single day. Remember, the small, seemingly insignificant steps you take today can compound over time and lead to enormous, life-changing success tomorrow. It's all about getting started, staying consistent, and believing in the process. We're here to guide you with practical insights and powerful stories every step of the way. So, subscribe now, and let's start building your better financial future together. And now for a quick but important disclaimer. Please remember that this video has been created for educational and entertainment purposes only. The content is meant to inform and inspire you. All the information presented is based on publicly available sources that we believe to be reliable. However, this is not professional financial advice. Everyone's financial situation is unique, so what works for one person might not be the right fit for another. We strongly encourage you to do your own research and consider consulting with a qualified financial advisor who can provide personalized advice tailored to your specific circumstances and goals. Your financial decisions are your own responsibility. Thanks again for your understanding and for being a part of our community.